Is it possible to go pro in CSGO in 2021? The answer is yes and no. In this multiple video series, I will give you an in-depth explanation and show you exactly where to start, what to look out for, and how to actually achieve your goal of making a living out of it. This specific topic is something that has been on my mind for a really long time, and I decided to make a video about it because when I had this question a couple of years ago, I wish I had an answer or a guide to it. This is why I want to show you guys everything from the start and help you make the decision. And if it's even a dream worth chasing. In the first part of this video series, we will focus on where to get started. You shouldn't dive into this experience head first. It is really important that you have the CSGO basics down before that. There are many good YouTube channels if you just begin to play CSGO. Good channels, for example, are Vu CSGO, The War Owl, or Banana Gaming. If you're new to the game, I would recommend that you check them out first, and when you have a solid understanding of the game, you can come back to this video. I will link all of their YouTube channels in the description. So now that you have the basics down and have played the game for, let's say, about at least 2000 hours, you can get to the next step, choosing your career path. Generally speaking, there are two major paths that you can take on your journey to a professional player, and that is through either Faceit or ESEA. Let's take a look at both options now. Faceit is well known in the community and probably the biggest third-party matchmaking service there is for CSGO. Roughly 18 million players are signed up on Faceit. It features its own matchmaking, elo system, and independent hubs and tournaments. A Faceit hub is basically a weekly or monthly league that can feature prizes and invitations to higher leagues. It's an alternative to the general Faceit matchmaking and requires a separate subscription. Some hubs are limited to certain skill levels or even nationalities. Let's take the Go Big hub as an example. It's a hub for the DACH region, so the German-speaking part of Europe. There's a league for every possible skill level. The highest league you can join is the Gold hub, for example. The Diamond hub, on the other hand, requires an invite that you can receive if you place first in the Gold hub at the end of the month.
But Fox, how does that make me pro?
Well, if you manage to get into a hub like the Go Big Diamond hub, or whatever hub there is for your region, there's a chance for you to get into the FPLC qualifier. Let me explain this in a little more detail. So there is a hub on Faceit called the Faceit Pro League, or FPL for short, where all the pros can compete monthly for a large prize pool. If you take the Faceit path, this is your end goal. All the best players like Simple, Nico or Zaiwu play in this hub. Right now, the prize money for the first place at the end of every month is a whopping $4,500. So theoretically, you could make a living just by playing this hub and place first every month. Does this sound appealing to you? Yes? Good. Because you won't make it there in the next few years. It is called Pro League for a reason, you. But don't worry. The FPL has a smaller brother called FPLC. This is the Faceit Pro League Challenger. At the end of every month, the best 2 players from FPLC will get an invite into FPL. There are about 100 players competing in FPLC, so your chance to make it to FPL is about 2%.
But Fox, if there are 18 million players playing Faceit and you have a 2% chance, that is a real high likeliness, right?
If you think FPLC is easy to get in, then I have to disappoint you again. Only 5 players every month get invited into FPLC. Achieving this by placing in the top 5 of the FPLC qualifier. This brings us back to our example from the Go Big hub. If you place in the best 8 at the end of the month, you will get the invite to this exact FPLC qualifier. Alternatively, you just play Faceit matchmaking, and through the Faceit league system, you can also get an invite into the FPLC qualifier. The top 100 in the Masters League, which you automatically join after playing 3 games when you're level 10, will also get you the invite. So in my opinion, it's way harder to get the invite that way. So your best bet is to join a hub from your region. And if you would like to see a video where I compare Faceit hubs with the regular Faceit matchmaking, let me know in the comments. The second option you have is to play ESEA. After Faceit, ESEA is probably the second best option when it comes to matchmaking. But the big advantage is that ESEA has its own league. As you may have already seen on my channel, I post POVs from my team's matches on ESEA. There are 5 leagues in ESEA. Open, Intermediate, which my team competes in currently, Main, Advanced, and Premier, which was called Mountain Dew League before. Because these are leagues and not matchmaking per se, you will need a full team of 5 players to play in this league. In Europe alone, there are roughly 1,000 teams competing in these leagues every season. ESEA Open is the place where you will start out on this platform. Each season will last about 3 months and you will have 16 games in total, which you can schedule to a time that you like. After these 16 matches, depending on where you are standing in the bracket, you can reach the playoffs and get promoted to a higher division. Usually 50% of all teams competing in the ESEA Open will make it to the playoffs. You will only need to win one single playoff game, which is a best of 3, to climb up to ESEA Intermediate. And basically this is all there is to it. Repeat this process a couple more times and profit. Obviously, the farther up you climb, the better teams you will face. So, which path is right for you? Both of these paths are obviously not easy to climb and it will take a lot of time, no matter where you're starting out. Faceit has the advantage that you don't need to find or build a team to play. You can just hop in the game, alone or with a friend, and play your way up to FPL, which will be your end goal and what you should be aiming for in that case. The most famous player that chose this path is probably Robs. In the HLTV Top 20 Players rating, he got placed at rank 7 in 2020. But on the other hand, there is some kind of luck involved when you play with random people. They can be very toxic sometimes, and playing your way up in Faceit takes way more time than the leagues in ESEA. Overall, I would only recommend this path if you really have high individual skill and don't want the hassle of finding or playing in a team. But I would strongly suggest you to give the ESEA leagues a shot though. I mean, CSGO is a team-based game and it is really important to train your communication and team play, especially in those early stages of your career. You will benefit so much from these assets in the long term. It doesn't matter whether you have the individual skill already or not. Starting your career on ESEA and getting the experience of playing in a team is really something I recommend. If you know how to play together with your team, you will automatically get better, and the more you play, the stronger you will grow individually as well. Trust me, it makes so much fun if you are on the same page with your teammates and everything is working out in-game as you plan it in your practices. I can't give you an example of a famous player that climbed up this way because there are firstly too many, and secondly whole teams climb up that way and enter the pro scene all the time. Don't get discouraged in the start. It may look intimidating, but once you established yourself in the league, you're well prepared to start your grind. So this path is, in my opinion, the best and easiest way of becoming a pro in CSGO. I simplified a lot of things in this video, but this was just a start. Since I already mentioned that I would not really recommend the Faceit path, I will talk mostly about the ESEA path in the future as well. Now that we have this out of the way, we can go to step 2, actually getting started. So in the next video, I will show you exactly how you can find a team in 2021 and get started. So stay tuned for that. This is the end of the video, but before you go, I would really appreciate it if you can do some magic YouTube algorithm stuff, like and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions or feedback for me, I would be extremely happy to interact with you in my comment section. Thanks for watching everyone and take care.